The Golden State Warriors entered the 2026 NBA draft with one clear goal: add young talent capable of growing alongside their veteran core. By the time draft night ended, Golden State had made two picks: Yaxel Lendeborg at number 11 overall and Lei Jones at number 54. Both selections carry real consequences for the players already wearing a Warriors uniform. Here is a breakdown of the biggest winners and losers from Golden State's 2026 draft. Hey, what's up, everyone? Before we jump into everything today, that like button right there is what decides if this video hits hundreds or thousands of people. 1 second is all it takes, but the impact on this channel is massive. Go ahead and hit that like button right now. Seriously, it's the simplest thing you can do, and honestly, the best way to back this content up, because every single like pushes us further. So hit it now. Winner: Draymond Green's workload. For years, Draymond Green has been asked to shoulder a defensive burden that few players at his age would accept. As a forward in his mid-30s, guarding bigger and younger opponents on a nightly basis has taken a visible toll. In 2024-25, Green logged 1,983 minutes, second only to Stephen Curry among all Warriors. In 2025-26, he played 1,869 minutes, surpassed only by Brandon Podziemski. For a 36-year-old with heavy career mileage, those numbers are serious concern. The arrival of Lendeborg changes things significantly. The Michigan forward is a versatile, do-it-all player capable of defending multiple positions and contributing at both ends of the floor. Paired with Guay Santos and with veterans Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford potentially returning at center, the Warriors finally have the depth to manage Green's minutes responsibly. For the first time in years, Golden State has the tools to protect one of their most important players from an unsustainable workload. Loser: Draymond Green's long-term future with the team. Here is where it gets complicated. Green holds a $27.7 million player option for the 2026-27 season, a decision he must make by June 29th. Most signs point to him opting in, but if he does, this coming season could be his last in a Warriors uniform. The reason is straightforward. Lendeborg's best position is the power forward spot, the same role Green has owned for over a decade. If the rookie develops as the front office expects, he will be ready to start by year 2. That generational transition would make it very difficult to justify Green's salary. There's no shame in this outcome. Green will finish his career with 15 seasons in Golden State for championships and a Hall of Fame legacy already secured. But drafting Lendeborg at number 11 have quietly accelerated the timeline on Green's departure. Winner: Stephen Curry. Some analysts argue the Warriors would have helped Curry more by selecting a dynamic ball handler. That case is merit, but Lendeborg may be the next best thing. The Michigan forward reads the floor with exceptional intelligence and generates scoring opportunities through smart decision-making rather than isolation plays. He makes the extra pass that frees up shooters and creates good offense without demanding the ball. What may benefit Curry most is Lendeborg's rebounding. His ability to secure offensive boards puts defenses into scramble mode, and when defenses break down on chaotic possessions, Curry is typically the player who benefits. An open three for Curry following an offensive rebound is one of the most dangerous plays in modern basketball, and Lendeborg is exactly the type of player who generates those moments consistently. As long as Golden State adds another ball handler in free agency, Curry should have enough support for another dominant individual season. Loser: Guay Santos' path to the starting role. Santos has worked his way into the Warriors' rotation through steady development and has earned his opportunity to start. For the 2026-27 season, he is positioned to be the opening night small forward and an emergency option at the 4 whenever Green needs rest. His progression has been one of the better stories in Golden State's recent rebuild. But Lendeborg's arrival complicates Santos' long-term ceiling. When Moses Moody returns from injury, almost certainly by 2027-28, he will reclaim the starting small forward position that will force Santos and Lendeborg into direct competition for the starting power forward spot. Santos' athleticism and an improving offensive game, but Lendeborg carries top 15 pick pedigree and the physical tools to develop into a legitimate two-way starter. Santos' roster spot is secure, but his path to a permanent starting role just became far more contested than it was before draft night. Winner, Jimmy Butler. In the weeks before the draft, trade rumors surrounding Butler were circulating across the league. Two scenarios had gained real traction: a move to the Los Angeles Clippers in the Kawhi Leonard package, and a separate trade to the New Orleans Pelicans involving Trey Murphy III and DeJounte Murray's contract. Both situations had one critical element in common. The Warriors' number 11 pick was frequently identified as a key piece that opposing teams were targeting. With the draft now complete and Lendeborg officially a Warrior, those trade scenarios are considerably less likely to happen. The pick has been spent, removing the primary leverage that rival front offices have been counting on. For Butler, who reportedly prefers to remain in Golden State alongside Curry, this is the best possible outcome. He stays on a competitive team built around one of the greatest players of his generation, rather than being shipped to a roster in the middle of a difficult transition. The 2026 draft did not just shape Golden State's future. It likely settled Butler's immediate fate as well. The Golden State Warriors closed out the 2026 NBA draft with their second-round selection, Florida State small forward Lei Jones, taken with the 54th overall pick. It was a quieter moment compared to the buzz surrounding their first-round choice, but the Jones selection carries its own layer of strategy and context, and some missed opportunities worth discussing. Who is Lei Jones? Jones is a 6'7" forward who turned 22 during the 2025-26 college season. He averaged 12.7 points, 5.7 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and 1.0 blocks per game for Florida State. His measurables are solid, his defensive instincts are evident, and his athleticism gives him a legitimate chance to contribute at the professional level. The swing skill that will define his NBA future is three-point shooting. At Florida State in 2025-26, he shot just 32.5% from beyond the arc, a number that raises questions about his ability to space the floor at the next level. However, the season prior at St. Bonaventure, Jones connected at 38.9% from three, which suggests the efficiency dip at FSU may have been situational rather than structural. If he can return to that higher clip with professional shooting development, the Warriors will have found real value at pick 54. One of the most memorable moments of Jones' college career came in his final game, when he dropped 28 points against Duke, scoring multiple times in isolation situations against top 3 pick Cam Boozer. That performance underscored his ability to create against elite competition, a quality that does not always show up in box scores, but matters a great deal to NBA evaluators. The context: why the Warriors needed more wings. Even after selecting Yaxel Lendeborg at number 11 overall earlier in the draft, the Warriors front office recognized they needed to add more wing depth. The reasons are significant. Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody are both expected to miss at least half of the 2026-27 season due to injuries. During that stretch, Lendeborg and Guay Santos will shoulder most of the minutes at the small forward position. But if either of those two suffers even a minor injury, the Warriors' rotation will be dangerously thin. Jones enters as a player who, realistically, is competing for a two-way roster spot rather than an immediate place in the regular rotation. Golden State currently has one open two-way slot available, with L.J. Cryer and Malavi Leons occupying the other two. Cryer is a talented guard, but his skill set does not address the wing depth problem. Leons is a versatile 6'9" forward who plays more like a big than a true wing. Jones fills a different profile than either of those two, which gives him a genuine case to earn that open two-way contract. The grade, B+, but not without regrets. Jones was among several second-round wings evaluated as legitimate late picks, so the value at 54 is reasonable. The Warriors address their most pressing positional need, wing depth, with a player who has the tools to develop into a useful rotation contributor. That is not a bad outcome for a late second-round selection. However, the grade is not a straight A, and the reason involves a player the Warriors did not take, Ugonna Onyenso. The Virginia center was available one pick earlier at number 53, before being selected by the New York Knicks and later reportedly traded to the Detroit Pistons for cash. Onyenso is raw offensively, but he brings elite physical attributes, most notably a 7-foot, 4.75-inch wingspan, that make him worth a developmental bet. The Warriors had previously brought him in for a workout, indicating genuine interest. A handful of other teams used cash to jump spots in the second round during the same stretch, including the Atlanta Hawks, who moved up from 57th to 52nd to grab Henri Vizar by trading with the Clippers. The question worth asking is whether Golden State could have done something similar to get Onyenso. The complication is that doing so might have pushed the Warriors into the second apron territory under the NBA's salary rules, an outcome the organization is likely trying to avoid given their current payroll structure. Making a cash or picks trade would have been a significant financial commitment on top of an already expensive roster. Still, the Warriors missed on a center with elite rim-protecting potential and took a wing with a question mark attached to his most important offensive skill. Jones may grow into a solid two-way piece, and the pick is far from a bad one, but the road not taken at number 53 adds just enough doubt to keep this from being a straight A evaluation. The bottom line, Jones gives the Warriors depth at a position they desperately need reinforcements at as they head into a season with major injury concerns on the wing. His defensive motor and athleticism are real assets. His offensive development, particularly from three-point range, will determine whether he becomes a genuine rotation player or a developmental piece who spends most of his time in the G League. The Warriors will have all summer to evaluate him, starting with Summer League, where he will have a chance to make a strong first impression on the coaching staff and front office. The 2026 NBA draft may be over, but the Golden State Warriors are not finished building their roster. With Yaxel Lendeborg and Lei Jones already secured to the draft, the franchise is now turning its attention to the undrafted free agent market, a process that can meaningfully shape a team's training camp and summer league outlook. The roster landscape heading into free agency. Before discussing signings, the roster context matters. Lendeborg will occupy one of Golden State's 15 standard contract spots, but several openings remain. Beyond standard deals, the Warriors have room on their two-way roster, a legitimate pathway to NBA minutes for undrafted players who perform well enough to earn an upgrade. Golden State currently has two of its three two-way spots filled. Guard L.J. Cryer and forward Mallory Leons hold those positions. Cryer has flashed real backcourt ability and could realistically earn a standard contract if he performs well in Summer League. Leons is considered to be on shakier ground. He is a versatile 6'9" forward, but the front office may prefer someone who better fits their specific needs for the upcoming season. For undrafted players, the most realistic immediate goal is signing an Exhibit 10 contract, which allows participation in training camp and summer league while competing for a two-way deal. The Warriors are an attractive destination, even on those terms. Last year, second-round pick Richard, selected 56 overall, earned a standard contract before the regular season by impressing the coaching staff during Summer League. That track record signals that Golden State rewards performance, making the organization a smart landing spot for undrafted players looking to establish themselves. Headline signing: Graham Ike joins Golden State. The most significant undrafted free agent move so far involves Gonzaga center Graham Ike, who is reportedly joining the Warriors. Deal terms had not been publicly confirmed, but multiple sources indicated the signing was moving forward at the time of this report. Ike was among the most coveted players available after going undrafted. The 23-year-old put together a dominant final college season, averaging 19.9 points and 8.0 rebounds per game for Gonzaga in 2025-26. Those numbers place him among the most productive big men in college basketball, and his consistency over multiple seasons, a high major program, gave NBA teams substantial data to evaluate. Physically, Ike is an imposing player. He stands 6 feet 9.75 inches tall and carries a 7'5" wingspan, measurements that give him the tools to be a legitimate interior presence at the professional level. His game is built around post scoring and paint finishing, where his combination of strength, footwork, and touch make him a difficult matchup. The majority of his offensive production comes from within the paint, an area where he has shown consistent polish. One notable addition to his game is perimeter shooting. In 2025-26, Ike attempted 71 three-pointers for Gonzaga and converted 24 of them, a 33.8% clip. For a player of his size and profile, showing any willingness to threaten from distance is a positive developmental sign. It tells scouts he is not strictly limited to the paint. even if that remains where his core value lies. The primary concern with Ike at the NBA level is defending in space. Modern NBA offenses demand that big men guard perimeter players, hedge on ball screens, and recover across long distances. Ike's traditional physical profile raises legitimate questions about how quickly he can adjust to those responsibilities against faster professional opponents. This will be the area of his game under the most scrutiny during summer league and training camp. Why Ike makes sense for Golden State. From a roster construction standpoint, the signing fills a specific void. The Warriors currently do not have a true center occupying either of their filled two-way slots. Leon's plays more like a big wing than a traditional five, and Cryer is a guard. Ike would give Golden State a legitimate interior option on the two-way track, a player who could develop with their G League affiliate while remaining available for call-ups when foul trouble or injury forces the team to go deeper into their front court rotation. If Ike performs well in Summer League and impresses the coaching staff in training camp, the most logical outcome will be the Warriors releasing Leons to create a two-way slot for the Gonzaga product. That decision would not be made lightly, but Golden State's most significant positional gap heading into next season is at center, and Ike addresses that directly. The Ike signing reflects a broader truth about how the Warriors are approaching this offseason. They're using every available mechanism, draft picks, Exhibit 10 contracts, and two-way signings to build depth at positions where the roster has shown real vulnerability. The summer is just beginning, and additional undrafted free agent signings are expected to follow as teams finalize their rosters ahead of summer league competition.